Alright, how's everybody doing? Okay, so I wanted to share with you some tapes and CDs I've been listening to recently. Music, this definitely the music I've been listening to recently, but it's also stuff I've been listening to for years. It just happens to be the very specific copies that I listen to. Now, I don't listen to records very much. I love records. I think with records, mostly I'm buying and selling them and collecting them. But, you know, for me, like to have, I love CDs. I can play them in my car. I can play them, you know, wherever, you know, and tapes. I listen to a lot of tapes in the bathroom, of all places. So anyway, here are some copies that I've been listening to. Now, there's a couple I'm missing, but I'm just going to do these for now. I don't want this to be too long. Alright, so we'll go with tapes first. Number one, I'm going to start with, this album just is absolutely incredible. Suicidal Tendencies, Join the Army. It's the second Suicidal Tendencies album. The cover is horribly cheesy, and you know, over the years it may have distracted people from buying it. I don't know. It's just it's a pretty cheesy cover, but it's also humorous. But the album, oh my god, you know, let's see, Feel Your Pain and I Survive. Oh my god, it's just like, there's really, really great, intense Suicidal Tendencies songs on here. It's just, you know, it's just all together. It's got some really great songs. I love side 2. Side 1 is also amazing, but side 2. Now, my hair and my vision are going, so I'm having to I'm self-conscious about hair. I guess with hair, I've never, you know, I never imagined like looking at myself and feeling like I'm bald, you know, but it's something you go through, you know, a lot of people go through it, and I'm just embracing it. But I also love cool hats, so there's that. But with glasses, I don't have any cool glasses. I just have to be able to read, okay? Anyway, so this album came out in 1987, Suicidal Tendencies, Join the Army. Yeah, Feel Your Pain and I Survive. Yikes, but it's a really, really great song. No Name, No Words. Yeah, Psycho. I mean, it's, you know, they did really have a gang back then, and you know, I don't want to know. You know, I really don't want to know. I mean, anything else about that. I just can say the album's really, really good. It's really heavy. The first Suicidal, of course, is, I mean, probably one of my favorite punk albums, in my probably top 10. And this is a copy I burned from my record, so I can listen to it quite a bit more. If I had a listening room, more of a listening room with records, and I mean, it was like something where I could sit on the couch. Also, records collect mold, and I've been allergic to stuff that records can carry with them. So there's definitely something to that. So I don't like having too many records in my room either. Anyway, so there's that. This is a comp that actually Kurt Flansburgh gave to me. He had 2 copies that were recorded back in probably 1983 or 80. Oh no, wouldn't be that early. probably more like 85-ish, something like that. And it was when he was singing in The Grind, my brother's band, and they practiced in my bedroom. He made a couple comp tapes, and very specifically Silly Killers on here is amazing to hear. The Silly Killers were an early Seattle band. I think Duff was in the band for a while too. There's a guy named Slats who was literally like a staple on Capitol Hill. He looked like he was straight off the Sunset Strip, kind of really thin, and he looked kind of strung out. But I come to find out after meeting him and hearing more about him, he's really good guy, actually, really amazing guitarist. Silly Killers. But this also has like Black Flag, Soccer and Trust, Flipper, which I've never been into Flipper at all. Just not a Flipper fan. Alright, moving on. Led Zeppelin, Physical Graffiti. Now, In the Light is probably my favorite Led Zeppelin song. It's a tough one. This is like this album. So right here we have it's a single tape of the full album. And the Wonton song, I love the Wonton song, In the Light. Of course, Kashmir, In My Time of Dying, 10 Years Gone. I mean, really great album for the Led Zeppelin fans out there. And if you don't know Led Zeppelin that well, put on side 2, or no, is that side? Well, this is side 2, but the In the Light. Start that side. Really good. David Bowie, The Rise and Fall of Ziggy Stardust. So this is another cassette of this, and Soul Love and Moon Age Daydream have become my favorites on this. For a while, like Rock and Roll Suicide, I do that at karaoke a lot. Yeah, really great album. Judas Priest, Unleashed in the East, and this album is very influential for metal and punk rock. You would initially think that it wasn't for punk rock, but it is, definitely. This was probably a big influence on this came up about the same time as the first Iron Maidens too. Interesting. Yeah, Iron Maiden was definitely very influenced by Judas Priest, there's no doubt about it, and by early punk rock. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what to say. Just like the beginning of Exciter on this, it's like just how it sounds, just how the drum sounds. I mean, it's an epic, classic metal record, for sure. Just a classic record. And both there's 2 covers on here. So Green Manalishi and Diamonds and Rust. So Diamonds and Rust was a Joan Baez song, and Green Manalishi was a Fleetwood Mac song. So that's interesting. And the Green Manalishi is, I remember hearing that when I was younger, and it seemed really heavy, like the riff and the lyrics. But it's Fleetwood Mac, right? So you could kind of say that Fleetwood Mac semi-influenced metal, and you would never have imagined that, but it's true. Alright, moving right along. I'm a huge Motorhead fan. Motorhead pretty much is probably one of the most influential bands in my life. If I haven't done a video on how influential like Ace of Spades and the whole story of my brother and his friends like buying the early Motorhead records, and I just remember being like this is the most insane thing I've ever heard in my life, and hearing Overkill and wanting to play the drums, wanting to play that, you know. But anyway, so, but this is a weird record. So this is Motorhead Today, and I saw it, I'm like, oh, that's interesting. You know, I got it at the outlet, so it was cool, like whatever, 30 cents. But it's got the song Dog Face Boy, and it cracked me up, but it's really cool, like Dog Face Boy, Dog Face Boy. You know, I mean, it's a great song. Jack would really like it. He's gonna come up and visit pretty soon, so I'll get Jack to say hi. Let's see, Order Fade to Black on here, a song called Order. Now see, I don't know if this is a compilation. I haven't looked up to see if these songs, because this is the Encore collection, so I'm not sure if this was a compilation, but Order Fade to Black has this part that almost sounds like a Soundgarden song or something. It's like really slow and heavy in one part of it, you know, like a drop D tuning. That's really good. So yeah, that's an interesting album. Motorhead Today. Devo, Freedom of Choice. This has got a lot of play. I think this is my favorite Devo. I've come to that conclusion. The other two, I forget the names of the earlier Devo albums, but the first couple are really good albums for sure. I mean, there's amazing songs on there. But I don't know, like something about this album consistently gets more play, and I just love it. But when it came out, I thought it was really cheesy, because when it came out, I was really into, like, you know, I mean, everything hardcore punk rock around the country. I mean, you know, DC scene, Boston scene, Los Angeles, what was going on around in Seattle. I was just on the verge of playing the drums, and yeah, so Devo initially wasn't a band I listened to, but after a while I did listen to them. Anyway, yeah, I know I don't have any cool eyeglasses, so these are just this is what I got. Alright. Okay, so this is one of my very favorite records in my top, I want to say almost top 5. If I was going to make top records, I might have to say like top classic rock, top metal, top punk rock, you know, something like that. But for, you know, this album is fucking flawless, man. Marquee Moon. You just have to listen to it and listen to it and listen to it, and I've never gotten tired. There's parts on this album that are just like mind-blowing every time I hear it. Just the whole, everything that's going on, and you know, the bass, the guitar parts, the drum, everything that's going on. Anyway, fucking great album, man. I mean, it's if there's one album I'm showing to you right now that has blown my mind the most, it's this record right here. This is an interesting Bowie comp. Now, I'm looking for a copy of Hunky Dory. Now, I know I could buy it. There's a million copies out there, but I'm trying to just see what falls in my hands, and going to the outlet and thrifting and yard sales and whatever, I stumble upon albums, you know, they do just show up. So Hunky Dory, I don't have Hunky Dory, but this had Oh You Pretty Things, Life on Mars. Anyway, it's a really good Bowie compilation, so I've been listening to this too. Now, this is like what I was just talking about. I was waiting for a Daniel Johnston just to see what would fall into my hands, and this did. It's Daniel Johnston, Welcome to My World, and it's a compilation of his stuff. and it's just so good. I mean, it's if you don't know Daniel Johnston, definitely take a listen. Some songs will stick out, and don't let the sun go down on your grievances is, I think, one of my favorites on here for sure. But there's something about Daniel Johnston that it really pays attention to just how great songwriting can be without having a masterful recording. It's just trying to get the feeling, the feeling across, and just what your initial, it doesn't have to be overproduced, and it doesn't have to be recorded in a, $1 million studio. Really great stuff there. Now, I love early Fiona Apple. Actually, all Fiona Apple. Everything she's done has been amazing. But When the Pawn Hits, has her first album too. But this album just like is so good, and On the Bound, Love Ridden. Holy crap! Yeah, so I love Fiona Apple. And When the Pawn Hits is my favorite Fiona Apple. Second would be her first album, which I have here. Of course, that's the one that like rocketed her to fame. But she's really cool and humble. When you find like bits of interviews with her, she's really tried to stay out of the limelight, and she's not a big sucker for fame and all that. She's really really has a really good heart, and yeah, and she's still a striding artist. Her last couple records weren't released on major labels, and there's really good stuff on them. They may have been a subsidiary of a major, but I think she tried to steer away from just being rocketed to like everybody's friggin' a good commercial or something. Okay. Wow. UFO. Is this still recording? I better make sure. Yes, it is. All right. Okay. Yeah, with glasses on. It's my nerd look, huh? And I don't mind that. I am kind of a nerd, actually, huh? Really, yeah. I'm multi-dimensional. It's true. So, UFO. I love UFO. I've loved UFO since I was a kid. Their first two records were, if I remember the first two, maybe one or two, were like weird space rock records. Those are bizarre, but they're very interesting to listen to these days. But the early UFO stuff, oh my god. So UFO has the wonder of Michael Schenker on guitar, and I would strongly suggest listening to let's see, Force It is a really great UFO record. So this is a comp of like some early Phenomenon, the live UFO. Again, like this is stuff I listened to, I don't know, I was like 10 or 11, and I mean, Force It, Mother Mary, songs like Mother Mary, which is on here. That was like, I mean, I loved that when I was a kid. It's very specific songs that grabbed me when I was younger, still grab me now. It's interesting how that works, and I guess it's kind of an enigma and a mystery how that works. But yeah, I mean, this has Doctor Doctor. It starts off Rock Bottom, Out in the Street. I don't remember what that one's from. Mother Mary, Natural Thing, Only You Can Rock Me. Too Hot to Handle, Lights Out, Let It Roll. Oh, I love Let It Roll. Shoot Shoot. Great comp. UFO Rocks. Okay. I love Susie and the Banshees. Susie and the Banshees. The Scream absolutely is a must to listen to. The Scream and Juju for sure. And there's another one that I really love. It's the album with Peekaboo. I think that album is it Peekaboo or is it? Oh, anyway, it's not the album with Peekaboo. It's fuck. I'm trying to think of the name of it. It's her most like psychedelic album. It's really good. But this album is another one. I just wanted to wait to see how long it would take until I found it, and it showed up, and very happy, very happy. Great record. Graham Nash, Wild Tales. Now, Graham Nash, his first two records, so he was in Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young, but his first two records, his first record literally it sounds like a twist between like an early Bowie record. So it's called Songs for Beginners, and it sounds like a twist between an early Bowie record and early like John Lennon. It's called Songs for Beginners. I don't have that on CD. I'm waiting for that one to fall into my hands at some point. It's just fun to see how long it would be like, oh my gosh, it's exciting. I could spend $10 on it if I want, but but this is the second record, and this record's like caught my ear over quite a few years now, and now I have it on CD, and this is a good album. I mean, it's really good, really catchy songs on here, really amazing songwriting, but it's like something that just, he just didn't, it didn't become that well known, Fucking great album. This is cool. So this is, I thought this was all the 4 Kiss solo albums at first, Kiss Icons, because when you take out the CD, it's got like, that's the picture from the solo album. But what this is, it's got songs from that each of them did, each member of Kiss did, and their songs from the solo albums. But you'll get like, I mean, you'll get some really interesting, like the Ace Frehley one on here is super good. Look at that, Ace is on the back. That's the front. I mean, the Ace Frehley Kiss album. I don't know if you're a Kiss fan, but if you are, the Ace Frehley solo Kiss album is probably I know this is arguably a statement, but I think it's my favorite Kiss album, but it's like probably considered one of the best. Even that the other members, I don't think they played on it. I mean, I think maybe, yeah, that's a good question, but anyway, it's my favorite Kiss album, I think. The first couple of Kiss albums, of course, but the Ace Frehley solo album is right up there. Alright, so that's some stuff that I've been listening to, and the actual copies I've been listening to. So I gotta put these back in my car, and I have some I put back in the bathroom. So yeah, hope you guys are all doing good. Thank you for the comments and questions and stuff. And I've had a comment recently that I'd like to do a video on. It was more like a personal type topic to talk about, and I'm really into doing some other videos that are more like in depth on other stuff in life. I have a lot to talk about too, just as time goes on, life goes on, and you deal with joy, sorrow, a lot of sorrows, right? I mean, and sorrows with the world, sorrows with personal life, strange synchronicities, just strange things happen. I've been 99% sober now for probably, I was saying, making sure it's still recording, 2.5 years. So I drink beer now and then, but very rarely, and I have one. And I do a little bit of weed once in a while, but just a little bit. But that's it. So my approach on life and how I deal with things, you know, I have to do a whole video on it, has changed, and it's a lot healthier. I actually lost a lot of weight because I've just had a healthier lifestyle. I have worked on a lot of breathing meditations, which is really important. We all forget that, you know, the breath of life is the most important thing that we have, and it's constant. And an ancient practice was to concentrate on your breathing. It does everything from relax you. It helps all kinds of, like, literally my blood pressure has gone down dramatically just from doing breathing. I'd say like breathing exercises or meditations. One way to start is to just, I'll do another video on this because this is the end of this. I don't know if any of you are watching this long, but you just count your breaths up to 10 and back, and just only concentrate on that. And don't let anything else get in your head, and it'll affect you, and it'll put you in a more of a frame of concentration. We've lost a lot of concentration in life, you know. I think that's with social media and things like TikTok, where, you know, videos that are short, people's concentration is short. You know, they don't have time. They're trying to just survive and be entertained or whatever, right? So slowing down, you know, looking at your surroundings. I have a lot to talk about, but I'll save it. All right, bye. Thank you.